Hey everybody, welcome to The Warp. I'm Jack Rita with Future Pastimes. Today is American Independence Day, so I thought it would be fun to talk about the most patriotic alien that I could find in the massive batch of aliens that are in the Fantasy Flight edition of Cosmic Encounter. And that alien is Patriot. So we're going to take a look at what Patriot does, what do I think of this alien, and we'll go from there. So Patriot is from Cosmic Storm, which was the fourth Cosmic Encounter expansion for Fantasy Flight. So it offers cards to secure loyalty. So Patriot has the power of loyalty. Let's look at what it does. Once per encounter, so that's as any player. Doesn't matter if you're a main player or an ally or you're not involved, and it's at any point in the encounter. Once per encounter, you may use this power to show any player one card from your hand as a show of loyalty. If the player accepts your loyalty, then they're going to add that card to their hand. If the player declines your loyalty, then they must give you one of their ships from any colony, and you place that ship on your sheet. As a main player, after alliances are formed, you may use this power to return all ships on this sheet belonging to the opposing main player. Proceed directly to the resolution phase and resolve the encounter as if both players had revealed negotiate cards. So Patriot does a couple of things, and they're definitely interlocked in a way. So they're not completely disparate abilities. There's definitely rhyme and reason here, method to this madness. Let's talk about that. So this is a pretty good alien, in my opinion. It definitely has some overlap with Philanthropist in that it is giving away cards, but it's not like Philanthropist, in which Philanthropist gives you a card and that's it. You have no say in the matter. You're like, all right, thanks for that. But Patriot actually gives that player some agency. They say, all right, here's a card from my hand. How would you like to have this and be my loyal buddy? And that player can say, no, I don't want that card. I don't want your garbage in my hand. But then there are some repercussions from that. You're going to have to give them a ship. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's certainly a little bit of a soft disadvantage in that you could have your ships drained away from you. And there may be times where you're like, I don't want to lose another one of my ships. And of course, you don't have to. You can just take the card. But of course, there will be circumstances where you don't want that card. You really, really can't have it in your card. And you also don't want to have another ship taken away. But that's a little bit of an edge case. So most of the time, what we're talking about is you either take that card, and that's the end of it. You're like, all right, great, an attack 6, just what I needed. And there's a lot of times there's reasons to be like, yeah, fine, give me the garbage cards. Especially if you already have a large hand. You're not going to be drawing a new hand anytime soon unless somebody takes a massive amount of compensation from you, or you're just a main player a lot of times in a row. So having a large hand is actually pretty good. It does give you cover. If you've got a lot of terrible cards, it gives you cover when someone does take compensation from you. And if you've got particularly useful flair, you're going to have that flair for a long time because you're not going to need to draw a new hand. So it's not all bad news to be given garbage cards from the Patriot. And of course, the Patriot can always give you something good. That is something that it does have in common with Philanthropist. They can say, yeah, well, we're allied now because I can do this as any player and I can do it in any phase. And you're like, oh, you don't have a good encounter card? Well, I'll just give you one, and we'll just do that as a show of loyalty. So being able to give somebody a card, a useful card from your hand, and they can do it. Again, they can do it at any time. Philanthropist has a narrow window in when they can do that. Patriots is a much wider window. So somebody needs to play a particular card as a particular player. Patriot can make that happen. But the loyalty part is also pretty interesting because once you've got somebody's ship on your sheet, you can make deals. And I love making deals. I'm all for it. I like the dealing in Cosmic Encounter, and I like everything that makes dealing more likely to happen, and Patriot is definitely on that list. It's going to be able to get itself into deal situations. And they could do it very easily. I'm attacking you as a main player. Do you have a negotiate card? No? Well, let me give you this card as a show of loyalty. Now, this works both ways. They can give them the negotiate, and then you can do it that way. Or you can say, I don't want to accept that card as loyalty. And you're like, great, give me one of your ships, and now we're going to be making a deal, and you'll get your ships back. So it's win-win. So I know a lot of people have given Patriot some grief over the years, especially when it first came out. They're like, this is a lousy alien. Some of it was based on, it's just too much like Philanthropist. But I don't, it certainly has some similarities to it, but it really is a distinctly different alien, and I like that. And it's distinctly different enough for me. Some people are like, well, I hate the name Patriot. What does that have to do with its ability? And that's kind of a whiny thing to get your panties in a twist about. It's all right. It's getting to a point where you're like, yeah, I want to know that I can make a future deal with you. So yeah, it's a little bit fuzzy, but so what? It's fine. If loyalty is the theme that you're going for here, I think Patriot is a fine name for it. What other things are loyal? Dogs? Well, we already had Fido in the base game, so having a dog and a Fido would be kind of weird. So I think Patriot works. It works for me. I've never had an issue with it. I don't understand anybody who gets up in arms for it. They're like, this is a terrible alien because of its name. I don't quite get that. Some people are just like, that artwork kind of freaks me out. And now we've got something that we can maybe agree on. This is pretty freaky. Although I like it. I like the freaky aliens in there. Is it a Patriot? I don't know. It's kind of disturbing in some ways, but I think it's fine. It makes me laugh as much as it makes me go, ugh. So I like Patriot. I think this is a very underrated alien. I think it's very useful. I would be happy to select Patriot if dealt this alien in a mix of aliens over a lot of other aliens, because I love hand management. That's one of my favorite things about Cosmic Encounter. And I love that Patriot has terrific capacity for hand management. They can unload those cards. And if the people keep saying no, you're setting yourself up for deals. So it's all good. And in those deals, you can still unload those cards. You can say, all right, okay, colony for colony. And you're going to take the card that I tried to give you, and you're going to take 2 other cards as well. And they can say no to that as well, but, it's a small price to pay for a colony. So that's Patriot. Let me know your thoughts on Patriot. Let me know what your thoughts on Patriot were before you watch this video, and did I change your mind? Have I made the case for Patriot if you were not a fan of it before? And if you're still not a fan of it, why? Why aren't you a fan of this alien? I think it's perfectly good. I think it's actually quite good. It's a really good alien. I love the design of it. I'm fine with the name. Doesn't rub me wrong. And the artwork, it rubs me wrong in a good way. So that's all I've got for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. And happy 4th of July to my American friends and anyone else who celebrates the 4th of July. Maybe it's a birthday, anniversary. Doesn't have to be anything having to do with your independence from England. Whatever. Enjoy the day.